Morning peeps, Lisa here once more. Coming to you with what I think is probably the penultimate video in our little mini series of building this lovely dulcimer fretted double string diddley bow, or the panhandle as we have been calling her. So there she is. I'm going to run you through the final stages of the build. There was an awful lot of sanding and filing, and I knew you wouldn't want to watch like 2 hours of that, so I've done that already. But it's the first time I've built a fretted instrument, so I'm quite pleased with it. And yeah, I'll just give you a quick overview of how I finished her off. So yeah, basically last time you saw her, the neck was on, it was all pegged. We were waiting to put on the fretboard. And the tuning pegs and the volume and tone dials and all that sort of thing. So yeah, basically I stuck the fingerboard to the neck, clamped it really well. You can never have too many clamps for this sort of thing, so I used every clamp I got really just to get it as flat as possible. I left it overnight and then left it the rest of the day. I finally left it about 24 hours I think, just to make sure that it adhered really nicely. And then basically I went in with a rasp. The fretboard was ever so slightly wider than the neck, which is the best way of doing things I've found, because then you can file it and have everything absolutely flush. Added the frets, basically using a mallet and a flat piece of wood. I just laid the wood over the frets to get it nice and even and just tap them in. I did put a little bit of epoxy resin in each slot because I wasn't very confident really with my fretting abilities, and I laid just a piece of wood right across the top, a little bit under the neck, clamped it down like that, and that's just how I did it. And yeah, again left it overnight. I let the epoxy really harden, so I left that for about 24 hours because it was only like cheap epoxy. I couldn't get the decent 5-minute stuff, which I prefer to use. I think I'm going to get a hot glue gun because I don't have one, you know. Like, I think they're probably a much better thing to use. I remember they were expensive when they first came about, but now you can pick them up at a reasonable price. And we are about keeping costs down here. That's it. These are cigar box guitars, where we put the spin on homespun. I told you my humour wasn't great, but anyway. Jack in the back. Nice little cupcake. Tuning knobs on the top. This is just a kind of generic bridge that I use for testing things. I made that out of a piece of metal ages ago. You can see I'm still working out the sort of height that for the annotation. She's not tuned or anything like that. I've just thrown a string on. I think it's an A string, and we'll see if she makes a sound anyway. She's buzzing a bit, so yeah, probably going to have to make a few adjustments there. What else can I tell you? That's about it really. She's ready to set up. So I have tried her ever so quickly, like plugged in. The pickups and everything work. If you remember last time, we had a whole bunch of wires and I cut a little conduit in there. What I ended up doing was actually getting some black insulating tape, and I bound it up like a wiring loom. I put it into the little conduit and then just gently strapped that down with an extra piece of wood, painted the whole lot black, and as you can see it's pretty much invisible. I don't actually mind if you can see wires, but it looks a lot neater. Pegs are in on the back. As you can see, I've just put them sort of side by side. And the saddle is simply a 2-hole hinge that I've used for this one. Yeah, there are much nicer ways of making them, but I thought, because this has quite a thick lid, and it does, I was able to screw it in. There's a block of wood underneath. I think it should hold. If not, I'll let you know. But that's basically what I did there. So yeah, she's pretty much ready to set up now. I'm going to string her, try and sort out the annotation, perhaps mess around. Let me start again. Perhaps mess around a little bit with the depth of this nut, so we can get a little bit of a lower action on her, and we'll see how we go. Yeah, so as always, thanks to all my wonderful subscribers. Thanks to you, Michael. You know, you really were a great support on this build. You know, every step of the way, you were coming in with, you know, wonderful words of encouragement. And I know you build these crazy instruments yourself. And so, yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed this. And stay tuned. The next video, hopefully I won't have my head chopped off, and we'll be sitting there playing this one. And we'll see how she sounds. So, until next time, peeps, keep playing, stay blessed, and I'll speak to you next time. Bye for now.